La 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 la
Hey,
la
folks. I'm
la
Camille
la
Who
la
Armstrong, the
la
performing
la
arts Renaissance
la
woman.
la
For over 40 years, I've worked as a performer, educator, consultant, and coach. But most importantly, I'm a parent. From classrooms to stages to bedtime routines, I've spent my life nurturing creativity, character, and connection in the next generation. This series is for you, whether you're expecting, learning as you go, or parenting for the first time, or even third time around. I'm here to share the insights, tools, and real talk I've gathered over 4 decades of hands on experience. Welcome to Camille Who, the Child Whisperer. I'm so glad you're here. What if growing your toddler's language has nothing to do with complicated programs and pressure, but has everything to do with intentional daily interactions? I'm Camille Who, the Child Whisperer, and we are speaking on. If you know me by now, you know that I'm a stickler for language. Language through everyday activity, through patterns, through simple routines. And one of one of my pet peeves is just talking baby talk to 2-year-olds, 1-year-olds. Like these are people that need to speak. They need to learn how to speak. The more you speak to them clearly, the more they tend to speak clearly. I wrote a book called Three Common Speech Errors American Children Make. Correction and Confidence. You can find the link in the description. It helps parents, educators, caregivers with three common speech errors that I came across as a mom, as a nanny, as an arts teacher, especially being a theater teacher, and helping children to learn new movements so that they can correct these speech errors. And before you know it, they corrected it and they didn't even remember they even had these errors. And it's about catching them at certain times of their lives in their development, and really just teaching them a new movement. Daily reminders. You can even add some activities and some games that I included in the book. But in the book, you'll also learn about my history. You'll learn about what my standards. My mom, who was this very educated woman who spoke the Queen's English and was all about her children speaking proper English. My history in the vocal arts, vocal music arts, my history in being a recording artist, and my history in the theater arts, and how where my standards come from, right? So I am a stickler for teaching children clear language and clear speech. All of my children spoke beautifully, even the children in my care that were not my own children. And you always get someone going, you always get other adults going like, my goodness, how can these wow, I just understand everything that they're saying, or they speak so well. That's always the compliment. But anyway, I can't say this enough. Children learn language through repetition, through interaction, not through pressure, not through performance pressure. Hey, say this. Hey, say that. Or hi, baby. How you want to? No, mm-mm. Come on, come on now. Listen. The more we can speak to our child like they're not a pet. Hi, isn't? How are you? How you doing today? Hey, what's up? How you doing? You good? All right. I'm gonna change your diaper, and after that, oh, we gotta get you a bottle, and then we're gonna wash this bottle out because we gotta rinse it out. And then we're gonna probably take a walk around the house. We're gonna go up the stairs, and we're gonna go down the stairs. Oh, we gotta go get you some clothes, and we gotta get you to the bath time. Take a bath. These are just talking, just talking, just talking. You want your child to speak clearly, speak clearly to your child. All that high pitched, sorry, that's one of my pet peeves when it comes to it. I just hear parents talk to their children and it just doesn't stop. Like they just, you don't realize that, hi, it's like you're talking normal to regular people, to other people. And then you go to your child who's like 2 or like 3 at this point. You're like, and your voice goes high pitch. And then all of a sudden you're sounding like you're talking to a pet. And this is, you just, but I think people are just not mindful of it. So I'm saying it, okay? I'm saying it. Language develops best when children hear language clearly, see language visually connected to the world, experience rhythm and repetition, associate words with real life experiences. Young children are constantly absorbing sounds, tone, rhythm, patterns, repetition, association. The more natural, consistent, and clear the exposure, the stronger the language foundation becomes. Children become what they repeatedly hear. You hear what I said? Verbal programming, audio programming, just like we have become what we have repeatedly heard growing up. Even if it's those things that we didn't quite like, it's the same thing. What are you repeating in your child's daily movie? If you're intentional about it, the sky's the limit. When adults constantly use unclear speech, baby talk, distorted pronunciation, this is what your child is hearing repeatedly. And whatever your child hears repeatedly, it's verbal programming. That verbal programming translates into what they then repeat. They're going to say these things, okay? And then it's harder for you to correct those speech errors. But if they hear it correctly the first time, if they're just hearing it, just normal talk, clear talk, then they are more likely to repeat that very thing. Sometimes they do have a speech error that is not intentional. That's not how you're talking to them. But it happens, and then in that respect, you can recognize it when they're about 3 years old, and you can actually help them to correct it. The clearer they learn language, the sooner they learn the clear language, the sooner we can have conversations, the sooner they can have conversations with other family, friends, family members, friends, etc. Books are brilliant ways to teaching your child language because and especially, I'm a fan of taking 3 books and repeating those 3 books for months. Okay, and then every once in a while you take one book and you rotate it out, and then you have the 2 same, and then a third one that's like, ooh, we haven't read this one, okay, and now you have something new in the mix, and you repeat those same 3 books. Every once in a while you take one out, you put a new one in. But this is an audio programming that is happening. Also, children are learning how to use words, especially in context. Like if they're looking at pictures and they see and they hear dog, or if they look at a child crying and they hear the word crying, right? Use hearing the language and seeing and getting the visual is also teaching your child to associate the visual with the words. This is also increasing their knowledge and their understanding of language. So eventually your child starts to repeat phrases instead of just one words, and just single words. They start to repeat phrases, they start to repeat sounds, they start to even repeat emotions. Like they have more of a better understanding of emotions, and colors, things like that. Like if you have books like Brown Bear, Brown Bear, they can learn colors that way. It's repeating. Brown Bear, Brown Bear, what do you see? your child is getting a visual association with the color, with the word, with the name of the animal, and then they see that repeated over and over again. Eventually, they all already know what a bird is. They already know without you even having to say, "Hey, look, there's a bird," which is great too. You take them outside and you actually show them a bird flying. That right there seals the deal. Okay, because now they're seeing something in real life, something moving that is associated with that same word that they've heard over and over again in a book. Eventually, what that turns into is them repeating words, them repeating sentences, and then them telling stories. That's early storytelling. The best, can I tell you? Because what's so cool is eventually you can just be like, here, why don't you read the book? It's the cutest thing to see a 2-year-old who does not know how to, I mean, two-year-olds don't know how to read. But if they've seen the book over and over again, if that book's been read to them over and over again, it is absolutely like it's magical. I love seeing a child just like pick the book up and then they turned in. They may not even go from one page to the next, to the next, to the next. They may go to the middle of the page, but they can tell you what's going on in that page in their own language, or maybe they repeat the things that some of the things that they've heard you say when you read the book. Also, they they can associate, they can say red, and this is whatever, and then but they tell their own story based on what they remember. Oh, I love seeing that. I love it. Mwah, I love it. I love seeing that. Try it. It's adorable, but you have to read the books to them over and over again first. Another example of teaching language through your everyday interactions is music, songs. And I know sometimes parents are like, oh my God, I heard this. I heard the wheels on the bus go round and round one too many times. I get it. But know that this is not, they're not tired of it. Know that this is building their vocabulary. Know that this is teaching your child how to string together words. Because children start by saying one word at a time. They'll say one word. One word, one word, one word. When you're reading books to them, when you're playing songs for them, and you can just play in the background. Sometimes you stop and you sing along with it. Sometimes, but you can just play it in the background. Eventually, you'll start to drown it out. Trust me. but it's getting into their brains, and what they're now learning is, how to take that one word and this one word, and how they work together in sentence structure, and how to string those words along. Eventually, your child is voluntarily making 2-word sentences and 3-word sentences and 4-word sentences. And they're also learning how to repeat melodies and patterns, which means that you can teach them habits, etiquette, um, routines by creating patterns. Because if they can repeat patterns, then you just have to model a pattern in front of them, and you model a pattern in front of them 2 or 3 times, and they got it. There's also one of my favorites, which is you can teach language through word association, like and there's nothing like being in context with with the world of language, the world of words. If you're outside and your child, and now this is what I say, observe where your child is looking, because it's easier to teach your child words and understanding of words if you know that their attention is there. Like if they're looking at a ball, say ball. It's easier to teach them what that is and what that object is than if you just go, hey, look, this is a ball. If their attention was somewhere else, then you're just giving them another thing in another word. It's not going to be as effective as if their attention goes to a thing. You observe where their attention, what's holding their attention, and then you give that thing the sound, or you give that thing the word. And every time they look at it, you say that word, they can learn it through that kind of association. I like picking leaves off of trees and going leaf, and giving the leaf to a child and going leaf, leaf, leaf. Ooh, crunchy leaf, leaf. Flower. I usually pick flowers. I mean, listen, a 1 year old, a 2 year old, they're gonna pick that flower apart. She loves me, she loves me not, and just throw it somewhere. But they're gonna do that most times. But this is what I say. I pick up the flower, pretty, pretty flower, pretty, pretty flower, and then I give them the flower. Pretty, pretty flower, pretty, pretty flower. Listen, you know how quickly kids pick up that sound, even if they're not saying the words pretty and flower. Pretty, pretty pow, pretty, pretty pow. Like they start to repeat those patterns and those sounds, so that when they actually are saying those words, they know what it is, they know what's associated with, they understand, they have an understanding of language better. To wrap this all up, or to recap here, step one, speak clearly in your everyday language, not baby talk. In everyday language, not harshly, not this is a thing, okay? This is a thing. This is yellow, and this is blue, and this is green, and this is, and giving them a whole bunch of things at one time. Just really like, don't be academic about it. Just be clear. Step two, use visual, audio, kinetic forms of teaching language. Like visual could be your books, audio could be your songs, and kinetic can be your picking something up, or your child picks something up and you give it a name, right? Your child picks up a ball, you say ball. Or you take a leaf off of a tree and you give it to them, you say leaf. Step three, follow what your child is actually what they're picking up on. Look at what they're looking at. When you observe that, then you can meet them where they're at, and then you can teach them language that's way more effective than just going, hey, this is this and this is that and that is this. And I've seen adults try to like teach their child all their colors at once. Why? First of all, and second, like, what makes you think that they're going to be able to pick all of that up right now when your child doesn't even know how to say hi, dad? I gotta understand. Okay, I don't know. We don't give thought to this, but I give thought to it because I notice patterns with humans, little humans, big humans, all the time. Mentioned earlier that there are videos that I have done in this series. So for more early speech and language development tips, be sure to check out episodes 8, 9, 13, and 17 of Camille Who, the Child Whisperer, where we go even deeper into speech development, communication, language building strategies, helping your children express themselves clearly and confidently. And if your child is anywhere between 3 and 4 years old, my book, Three Common Speech Errors American Children Make, I address these three errors: the R, the L sound, and the S. Great tool. It's a simple, easy read, and it's a quick read. And I even put activities and games in there that you can play with your child and make it fun. Like, it's not just like, I'm teaching you this and I'm going to make you do this, and this is, like, it's a fun way to just, let's focus on this one sound. Daily reminders. Let's play some activities. Let's maybe work on an activity once a week, and watch in a matter of weeks your child's language become clearer, and you'll be getting those same compliments. My goodness, your child speaks so clearly. Why? You don't say. I'm Camille Who, the Child Whisperer, and I am out of here.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Camille Who, the Child Whisperer. A heartfelt thank you to the generous supporters of the Books and Beyond campaign. This series wouldn't be possible without you. If you're a new or expecting parent, I created Better Parent, Better Future just for you. I empower first-time parents to embrace a positive mindset and navigate those early parenting years with confidence and joy. Click the link in the description to learn more or to find out how we can work together. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep leading with love.